again, it's not all bad. Not all bad. I mean, I would 82% of it is. What's happening, film friends? Dave the Film Junkie here, bringing you a film review of Morbius, finally! Morbius, of course, stars Mr. Jared Leto and is directed by Daniel Espinoza. And we know the story, we've heard about Morbius. Not the first time that we've actually seen a live-action Morbius, mind you. If you remember, there's a deleted scene at the end of Blade that was teasing a Morpheus, which probably would have been better. But here we are, getting a full-on backstory, and yeah, it just kind of makes you wonder, was this the right way to go? But at the same time, how successful has Venom been? So let's bring in some more of these darker characters that are really villains in the Spider-Man world, but let's make them anti-heroes, which seems to be what's going on, especially with Sony. And yeah, so I'm not even gonna go over the plot. You know what the plot is. What did I think of Morbius? It wasn't that good. Not that that's any shocker. I mean, I highly suggest you going in there with low expectations, because to be honest, the build-up was actually okay. I was actually fine with it. I mean, it was rushing through really quickly. I mean, it's similar to Venom, or especially Let There Be Carnage, you know, when they try to establish these other characters, and it's just like, go, go, go. You have an opening scene. Let's establish the Michael Morbius character, and, of course, his buddy and everything. Let's just kind of get that, see them as kids. Let's go, let's go, let's go. I mean, it rushes through it. Now, like I said, not everything is bad. I mean, there are some cool sequences where the VFX look pretty good when they do, like, this slow motion thing when he's doing his Morbius teleportation, flying around thing or jumping around thing. I mean, it looks pretty cool. I mean, yeah, it's like crisp and everything. And then there's sometimes where like, holy crap, they were scraping the bottom of the barrel with that one. Jared Leto's Jared Leto. I mean, there's nothing that you could really complain about his performance. I mean, it was a little boring, a little dull, I guess you could say. But when I guess the whole thing is just he's supposed to be like that because, well, you know, he's a doctor trying to figure out a cure, even though, you know, he's pretty, even though they try to make him not so pretty, you know, when he was all skinny, which I thought that was pretty cool. My friend actually thought that he lost all the weight for it. I'm like, no, that's VFX. He actually bulked up for this. And then, of course, after he takes the serum or whatever, you see him all bulked up. And then, of course, she, you know, got excited. What I said in my first reaction review is props to the editor, because he had to edit this thing down, and they probably wanted it as short as possible. They probably wanted this to be 90 minutes. I would not be surprised, because, you know, Venom was 90 minutes. They probably wanted to chop it down as much as possible, and maybe they couldn't do that because obviously this is an origin story, so they couldn't just cut it down. I'm kind of wondering what the initial assembly cut of it was, and then cut down from there, director's cut, and then cut down again. I'm kind of wondering, because it does seem like there's a lot left on the table. It seems like when you watch movies that are cut down significantly, you can always kind of tell, maybe not all the time, but for me, it always seems like when there's random scenes of like the main character like thinking, or there's a montage, there's voiceover, it always seems like, oh, they just, for some reason, when in that part right there in that montage, I have a feeling that they actually shot a whole sequence for that, and they just kind of just took a clip of it and put it in this montage. And you do get something like that with this movie. And then, not to mention, you know, the two, I mean, they're not cops, but FBI, I can't even remember, but Tyrese and the other dude, you only see them show up, and they are very much cartoony. You know, Tyrese is like, you know, he's, of course, being like the bad cop kind of guy, and the other guy's a goofy guy. But it's like even in Venom, you saw like the people who were working these cases, you saw them back at their headquarters, whatever the hell. You kind of saw, they kind of gave you a little bit more with them. But these guys just show up and just look at the crime scene, or they start interrogating Morbius or something like that. And it's just, there's nothing really there but just to show up at these certain times to kind of solve the case. And to me, this should have been like an R-rated vampire just gore fest. I mean, I know some people are like, it doesn't have to be R-rated to work, and I go, yeah, but at the same time, I'm just like Blade. I mean, again, they were gonna tease this character with Blade, and Blade was rated R all throughout, so why can't we just go dark and go rated R with this? I think that would have done it a service, to be honest. I think it really would, especially when he's, you know, messing some people up, and, you know, we're getting people getting getting the blood drained out of them. So why can't we have this R-rated? They should have just went full on. I mean, I can understand. Comes to Venom, yeah, you can make the argument. I mean, if talk to people, diehard Venom fans that are okay with the fact that it wasn't R-rated, but even though I thought maybe it could have benefited a little bit, but maybe not. I could be wrong, but I think with this one, the fact that he's a fucking vampire would have benefited. But that's just me. And then, yeah, there's just some sequences that just feel, what the fuck? And then it suffered the same thing in the final battle between the goodie and the baddie. It suffered the same thing where sometimes you're like, it's so dark, I can't fucking see what's really happening right now. What is going on? What is it? And then, again, there's scenes that are just immediately there's one in particular scene where they're chasing after him, and then I guess they trap him, and then it's just bam! Next scene, and it's already been like, I don't know, how many couple of days or whatever. There's just a lot of things there that are very much missing, that are left on the cutting room floor, of course. And, there's things that I kind of wanted to know more about when it came to this origin story. And then don't even get me started on the fucking mid-credits scene. It's bad. It's bad and it doesn't make sense. And I'm going to do a spoiler review, which is not too much to spoil, to be honest, but I'll do a quick one. But yeah, it's just, what were they thinking? I don't know what they're thinking. I know you guys who've seen it leaked out, and it's just one of those where they're like, we have to get to this point. And this is where these movies suffer. It really suffers when they're like, okay, we have to put this in there because we got to build up to something next. It's like, man, can you actually build up to, I don't know, him taking on Spider-Man or him taking on Blade? I don't know. I don't know what they could have done really with this movie, to be honest, because again, like I said, like when I always talk about the 2015 Fantastic Four, I think there's a good movie in there somewhere, and who knows if we're ever going to see that? Probably not, but I just don't know if there was actually a good movie in here. Like I said, there were some cool things, and when it started off, and a lot of people were saying it's boring, but I kind of dug the fact that I'm like, okay, I see what they're trying to do here and add to this, but I think there could have been a little bit more because there was like this whole backstory with a little girl that really didn't go anywhere, and I think they could have messed with that a little bit and showed the relationship that Morbius had with this little girl. There was just some things that just could have taken a little bit longer and could have just had a little more layers to it, but it was just like another just case of boom, 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 let's get to the end, let's get to this final battle, and then let's get to that mid-credit scene where it all ties together. So there you go. I mean, that's pretty much it. It is what it is. Like I said, though, going in with low expectations probably helped me because I went, and then there's certain things where I'm like, yep, that was removed. You just kind of wonder what the fuck happened when it came to all this, all the delays, like what ended up happening when it came to all that. Anyway, so there you go, guys. There's my review of Morbius. Who knows? I mean, apparently it's going to do good at the box office, so it might warrant a sequel and continue on to where they want to take it, which God knows where that's going to end up. But all right, guys, so there you go. That is it. Let me know your thoughts about it down below. Hit that like, thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Join if you want to become a member. We got the Patreon down there for you, too, if you want to join in on that. Doing a Patreon stream tomorrow night. And then, of course, look forward to the spoiler review, and then the shirts down below if you want to get some shirts like this one right down. All right, guys, Morbius. Hey, at least he looks pretty, right? Right. All right, talk to you later.